Podcast. Midnight Paco. Midnight Paco Podcast. Midnight Paco Podcast. See a trucker, flash a trucker. Hey, the light. Sandra is also Puerto Rican. Ladies and gentlemen, Cool Steve Canton. Yo,
What's going on, baby?
What's going on, man? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Midnight Paco Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
As always, you can find me at Justin Fuller Comedy on Instagram.
And I am the _great_COREE. That's where you can find me. Or you can find us both at the Midnight Paco Podcast.
That's right. Hey, please hit the like, subscribe, notification.
It's going to be right here somewhere.
Right here.
Somewhere.
And we got a special guest.
As you can see, special guest. One of the big guns, Mr. Marcus Martin is in the house, y'all.
That's right, y'all.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
This episode of the Midnight Paco Podcast brought to you in part by the Acumen Paralegal Services help you help yourself the legal way. The services that they offer is they help with documents that need to be typed, guardianships, probate, divorce, wills and trust, complaints, business organization, financial planning, and legal research and writing. Go ahead and give them a call at 216-727-0049 or 216-456-2000. Michelle White will get you right.
That's right. Man, first off, it was a pleasure meeting you.
For sure.
At the show. You know, shit, we've been Instagram friends for a minute.
Right.
Yeah, same here.
We've been following each other for a minute, but we got to finally meet each other in person, and you did the damn thing.
Hell yeah.
Meeting you and watching that.
Yes, and thank you. Hey, Marcus, where can they find you, man?
Instagram _Marcus Martin. YouTube comic Marcus Martin. That's probably like from there you can find me on anything. But comic Marcus Martin, you know what I mean, title, Spotify, anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, hey, and you want to treat yourself and follow this brother on Instagram because he be posting some some tripped out videos, man. Had me laughing, you know what I'm saying? So we want to get your laugh on, your morning started off right. Follow this brother and check him out.
And apparently he got some pills. From his latest post, he got some pills for what you post about the Ohio pills?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Ohio just passed that law where you can sell or give away unused pills.
What?
So prescription pills. Yeah, I'm like, man, that's crazy. So
people went to jail for that shit.
Yeah, right.
Man.
That's how you know the end is coming.
Oh, you already know. I hope the price is gonna drop.
They're gonna be like,
abundance.
they like, you don't need a permit for carrying a gun. Don't worry about it. And now you can just sell pills. It's okay. They're like,
shit.
Yeah.
How much are they?
How much of what? The pills?
Pain like a motherfucker, boy. The marijuana doesn't do it. It just makes me happy and not angry about the situation. So, Marcus, how long you been doing it, man?
I've been doing comedy about 9-10 years.
That's dope. That's dope. So you got a lot of knowledge up in that head of yours because we've been doing it for like 2
years.
2 years.
Oh yeah. I remember when I first started, but right now it's like, especially 2 years. That's like the great time because really ain't no pressure. You lightweight, just still learning. You know what I mean? And you kind of can, use different things because you still don't know. Like I tell comedians, especially just starting off, try all type of ways, because you still trying to find your voice on stage in a sense. Right. You know what I mean? Like you might want to sit down some shows, try that, see what works for you. You might want to stand up. You might want to I like Kevin Hart. He keep the mic stand right there. When he first started, he used to keep the mic stand right there. He never used to like, how some people like take it off and move the mic stand. Like,
right.
Yeah. So whatever works for you, for real.
Okay. So where did you start at?
The Funny Stop in Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, shout out to Pete.
Shout out to Pete.
Yeah.
That's where we both started. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think Pete probably gave every comic in Northeast Ohio when they first started.
Yep. I think so. Cause
Yeah.
hey man, and we talk about him all the time on the podcast. He's legit, man. He'll sit there and he picks the lineup every time. Every time he sits there and picks, okay, you go up, you go up. You know what I mean? As far as when they hosting for the open mic and shit, he'll line everybody up and pick out the lineup. Yeah, he acts like he don't pay attention, but he pays attention.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
And I try and tell all these new comics, like, look, I get it. You got a bunch of bar shows, a lot of open mics, and people stray away from the funny stuff for some odd reason. But I'm like, he gives you opportunities. He gives you guest spots. He lets you come and watch the comics for free. The headliners on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope that you started there. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you said, you've been in comedy for like 10 years. Like if you had to give me a who are some of your influence? I put people on in the hot seat when I say give me your top 5, but who are some of your influences, man?
I always say like comics I can learn from influence me. Kevin Hart kind of gave me the inspiration. He made it seem so easy. It was like I could do this, but as it takes a while to even get to his level.
Right.
Jerry Seinfeld, I learned from him. I learned how to do bits watching Seinfeld. Seinfeld was very inspirational. Moms Mabley. Then I had to go Ellen DeGeneres. I like Ellen. And feel like their storytelling ability is crazy to me.
Right.
Yeah. Then I say local like my dude Big Chevy. I don't know if y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. He rocked with us last night.
Yeah. That's my dude. Like Chev, like I learned so much as far as timing. Just a lot just watching him. Like being around him, I learned so much.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah.
Shout out to Chef.
Yeah, shout out to Chef.
He told me his name is not Big Chevy, it's Chevy Terrell.
Yeah, you said Heavy Chevy.
Oh, I said Heavy Chevy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He said Heavy Chevy. He said no, it's Chevy Terrell.
Yeah. Okay, Heavy Chevy.
Can't go around.
Where was the show at?
What's that?
Where was the show at?
Where you performed at?
Grown Up.
At Grown Up. Yeah.
The lineup was dope.
Man, it was a killer lineup. I had Chevy Terrell, Rob Coleman, Will Hopkins, I Holla again because of special request. Aunt Morrow and Aunt Mayo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a crazy lineup.
Crazy dog. That's what I said. And I mean the people that and shout out to you once again, for showing up. The people that showed up for showcases and everything. Tell you what, man, those tickets for those shows.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Who's on those lineups, man, would have been nice.
Yeah, I know. Even when Marcus, he closed me out and everything. Yeah. I mean, it was a great show. And the thing is, I appreciate the comics that came out and did it. I'm not trying to say that they're not worth a big ticket because they are. Definitely. I really appreciate it. But I also think that Cleveland needs to laugh right now.
Right.
We've been going through it. This area, this northeastern Ohio area needs a laugh break.
Right.
Because of all the craziness that's been going on in the world.
I'll tell you what, comedy should be on the rise. You know what I mean? It's just getting out there. And unfortunately, the weather stops. It tries to stop people from going out.
Yeah.
TK Kirkland, I think. Then I sent you the thing. He's supposed to be at the Improv, I think, this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like TK.
Yeah.
I like TK.
So how old are you, Marcus?
I'm 38.
38. So you started at 28, basically.
Yeah, something like that. Like I was probably like 27, 28. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like to get perspectives of when people started.
Yeah.
I'm 44. You know what I'm saying? So we
47.
Started late.
We started late.
No, hey, ain't no such thing as starting late. As long as you started.
I mean, exactly. But the thing that was like discouraging me because like I didn't start right. The first time I went up was in 2019. You know what I mean? And I was still like months. I was thinking about it months or so prior to even that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go back to 2018 is when I was probably thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I finally did it in 2019 after listening to podcasts. Because growing up, I never knew you could just go to open mics.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I didn't
No
know.
fucking clue.
Yeah.
I'm watching Eddie Murphy and all them motherfuckers. Like, no, they're fucking stars, of course. But of course, when we grow up, we didn't know he did that shit when he was 19. Fucking delirious and shit. I'm like, what? Get the fuck out of here. He was 19.
Yeah, I was the same way, man. Like, it was something I always wanted to do since I was probably like 10, like 10, 11, but I didn't know nothing about no open mics neither at all. I didn't even know it was, and I was at a friend's house and I seen he had a magnet of the funny stop. And I was like, man, what is this? Well, what is this about? They're like, it's a comedy club. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do they have open mics for amateurs or something? Can you get on stage? And he was like, yeah, just call them. And I called him, and the next week I was on stage.
Dope.
Wow.
Dope. Yep. Yeah. See? Simple as that.
That's how it starts.
And that's how I found out. I'm like, really? All you gotta do is show up. And then I was like, well, let me go scout this motherfucker out. Because then you're nervous. Yeah. So I sat in the audience a couple times, sat back, and I'm like, well, I ain't as bad as that motherfucker, I guarantee it. You know what I'm saying? So it's encouraging. But then the other thing was like the 10-year. All I heard was, oh, it take 10 years.
10 years.
Take 10 years. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, in anything, well, you gotta start somewhere. And if I don't start now, 10 years later, where would I fucking be? You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I jumped in and began the journey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you said those were some of your influences and stuff like that. It's interesting that you said Seinfeld and Ellen DeGeneres. I like them too, but I'm a student of the game. I watch everybody. I like.
I too.
I watch everybody. Like if I watch you, I watch everybody. Like I could pretty much.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that shit, man. People like, you remember this dude, and he was saying this. I'm like, fuck are you talking about, dude? That was an open mic like 5 weeks ago. I have no clue who we.
I'm just a student of the game, man. I watch everybody, like everybody. So it's like, all right, so you doing the comedy, you ripping it up on stage, and anything else that you interested in, like like skits or maybe like sitcom acting or maybe comedy writing, anything else that you inspired to do?
I kind of want to do it all, whatever like come my way. I like writing. I like skits now, even like the Instagram stuff where you see the videos.
Right.
When I started that, Instagram and all that wasn't even around. So a lot of the older comics used to call them YouTube comedians. And I learned there was just another medium as far as showcasing your talent, because some people want to see your personality. So it's more like that before the stage, but it's part of it now in a sense. Like it's part of it. It's part of doing comedy, just like podcasts is like part of it now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey man, that's what. Well, look, when we first got into it, because we met each other at a job prior to this. You know what I'm saying? We knew each other before getting into comedy, and I left that job and I started doing it on my own. He kept in contact because that's just Cordell. That's just how he is. And so he was like, what are you up to? I was like, man, I'm over here doing comedy at the Funny Style. He was like, I want to do it. So I'm like, well, come do it. And then we'd be talking about shit. I'm like, man, we'd be cracking up the whole fucking time. I'm like, well, we might as well start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? We might as well. And the crazy thing is that the podcast became, because we started documenting basically going out and doing open mics, meeting people at the open mics, meeting crowds, and how we're treated and this and that, coming into the game young. And, we got merch. You know what I'm saying? We got fucking shirts and shit. I got my shit. We got our Midnight Paco shit. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers looking at us like, who the fuck is this Taco?
Poppin' Taco. Who the fuck is Poppin' Taco?
You know what I'm saying? And we're learning, how people are, and it's funny to us because all we're trying to do, because you've been to the open mics. There's like 20 motherfuckers up there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to us, it's like it's a show. It's a fun show because it's in a comedy club. You know what I'm saying? You come to watch the comedy. It's not at a bar where people are talking. They ain't paying no attention. Most of them are comics. I mean, don't get it twisted. Some nights, most of them are comics at the Funny Stop too, minus 10 motherfuckers. But you know what I'm saying? So there are those nights, but there's nights where it's like 30, 40 people in there. It's a nice crowd. on a
Right.
Wednesday. You know what I'm saying, for an open mic, but it's 20 comics, and some of them been there doing it 4 years, 2 years, 1 month, a day. You know what I'm saying? You never know what
Right.
you're gonna get. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's an actual show compared to like at a bar and this and that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a
Yeah,
lot.
I like watching amateurs too, because the professionals make it easy, but watching amateurs kind of teach you like what not to do.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh, for
Yeah.
Definitely.
sure. Oh,
So
yeah.
Definitely.
I sit back and I be like, oh, like if he did this, it would have been funny, or if she would have did that, it would have been funnier. So I kind of learn. So when I get into that situation, I know how to navigate now because I've seen it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So like is there anybody that's out right now that anybody compared your comedy style to?
I don't know that people can. I don't know. I don't know if anybody ever compare. I would say more like a kind of like a Cat Williams, more D.L. Hughley-ish, kind of like a little bit of both, if you say. Because
Okay.
I in and out as far as the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You I don't know if that's your comfort zone, but you was in an intimate setting at my showcase, and I think you did excellent there. Like it seemed like you were like super comfortable in that intimate setting.
Oh yeah. I love that, man. When it's tight knit like that, I
Yeah.
really settings like that.
Well,
Okay.
I realize there's something different sometimes in those settings because I write my bits in 5 minute chunks. Some people write jokes. You know what I'm saying? Some people are able to.
Some people make shit up.
Some people. Well, what I'm saying,
I
yeah,
make shit up all the
you
time.
make shit up, but what I'm saying is it's part of your stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But what I'm getting at is you can throw those in wherever.
Yeah.
I kind of,
Right.
I kind of, mine are chunks. It usually kind of falls back to the beginning, to the beginning at the end, things like that. I try and do some shit like that, I try and build a story within that 5 minute bit. So it's tough in those settings. It's a different delivery. And I'm
Right.
learning that, you know what I'm saying? Definitely delivery than being on the stage when people are just letting you just do your thing. Instead, you got to talk over people talking, or they're right there and they're talking to you like, yeah, motherfucker. And you're like, okay, yeah. But you got to constantly be thinking of your material and being able to weave it in there in a natural conversation with that. That's hard to do. That's fucking hard to do. You know what I mean? Without being robotic.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I say, man, them bar shows, if you can learn how to navigate through them bar shows, the comedy club is easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely can see that for sure. But it's discouraging because ain't too many people paying attention sometimes.
Yeah. I don't really like that. Like I had a show, and I mean, especially as a young comic, I tell them like, don't force it. You know what I mean? Like, don't force it. If the crowd is not paying attention, don't go up there and try to make them pay attention. What I do, I just start talking about the crowd or what's going on,
Yeah.
or ask them what y'all want to talk about, because obviously y'all don't care about this show. So I'm not about to come up here and humiliate myself because I
Right.
do this professionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the difference. We're getting into that. Well, so you go on like, are you out like? So explain to some young people how you even get started into that, as far as getting booked and everything like that.
Well, me coming from Canton, Ohio, it's small. A lot of people ain't never even heard of the city, so it was
Oh,
like,
that's a
what?
Hall of Fame,
That's the
baby.
football Hall of
You kidding me?
Fame.
They
Yeah,
got Troy Polamalu up in that bitch. They know where that is.
Wait a
yeah.
minute. We gonna talk about the good players of the NFL.
Man, the Steelers got a wing of their own. But
Oh
go
man.
ahead.
Yeah. No, Marcus. Don't laugh at that.
No, but go ahead. You start again.
Uh,
They know where you at, but I hear
But
you.
yeah, I had to start. I started just showing up to shows and supporting,
Yeah.
like just supporting. I used to just go to shows, and not even performing. Just I'm here to support and
right.
working, and it kind of just went from there.
Yeah. That's
Well, I
dope.
mean, sending out your tape. Did you ever just send out like to bookers or like to other clubs? Send out a tape
Yeah, definitely.
like
Email.
that.
I do all that. Yeah, the emails, send your stuff out to bookers. A bio helps. EPK helps. Um, I mean, it's all different routes for different comics. I looked at when I first started, it was people like Wanda Mayfield, Sean Boyd, Chad Zumack. It was those that was like been doing it before me. So I just kind of looked at them and see what they was doing. I'm like, oh, okay. Wanda got a DVD. Well, let me try to figure out get a DVD. Or Sean got T-shirts. Well, let me go get me some T-shirts. And I was kind of seeing what other people was doing and putting it to implement it in my program.
And
You said Chad Zumack, right?
Chad Zumack, yeah, Zumack.
Didn't I?
yeah, you did a guest spot for him.
Yeah, I did a yeah, I did a guest spot for
Yeah, the
Chad.
funny stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad is hilarious. But I would sit back and watch them like because they was doing it for years before me, and I just kind of took what they was doing like, okay, this what you need to do to be more professional, and everything I do, I treat it with professionalism. Like if it's work, still show up and be professional.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely showed that.
Yeah,
Like I said,
yeah,
for the first time,
yeah.
for sure.
He was
that, yeah.
Like I said, when I first started doing comedy, I told one of my frat brothers, Burner, I told him I was doing comedy, and he was definitely one of the names. He said, reach out to him, Marcus Martin. He gave me D-Hawk, Mayo. He gave me, Chevy, Jin Jin. He said that's super cool, super funny comedians to know. And I just met Marcus Martin, but he was responsive. He didn't ignore me.
Right. Yeah.
Like, some other comedians.
Kudos to you for that, man. Because trust me, we met some people. We met some people who continue to act like we don't exist. You know.
You gonna have that, man. Shoot,
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. We were talking. I'm like, come on, you see me on the feed. You see us on the feed. You see me here at the funny stuff every week.
Yeah, see, what I learned, you can never feel like you're too far ahead where the people behind you can't catch up, and you can never feel like you're too far behind where the people in front of you can't catch up. Like I like it. I like meeting newer comedians, especially I just started.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't it about making people laugh and having fun?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, ultimately, that's what it is. People. I mean, I don't know if he was serious. Remember, he was like, "Good luck following that," or something.
Yeah, I had a comedian that they told me, yeah, good, have fun following me, and I'm like, okay. And then afterwards, he's like, "Oh, you did pretty good after me." I'm like, "What you thought, man? Like, what you?"
Right.
I mean, but to even say something like that at all, it's like, good luck, have fun. I hope you make them all laugh. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I'm not wishing nobody to go up there and bomb. You know what I'm saying? Because that's dreadful for me. Have you ever seen Kill Tony? I'm sure you.
The podcast Kill Tony. Yeah.
A minute can be death.
Yeah.
I've seen people up there just dying, and those crowds are pretty goddamn. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you some love, man. They're big crowds, and a minute just death. And I'm like, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is eternity.
So Marcus, tell me something like when you first started, like, did you record yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you what I did in the beginning, and I try not. I got OCD. Funny stop cord is always tangled. I'm up there messing with the cord. I'm pacing. I try not to stop pacing. Like, what were some of the things that you had to overcome when you first started? Like, what were some things that that Marcus Martin that back then did that you wouldn't dare do today?
The pacing definitely did that.
Okay.
You used to be like all the time or like all the time.
Right.
That they noticed that on stage. The audience always refer to they like sharks in the water, and can smell if you're nervous. They can nervous. And one thing I learned, see, as comics, especially when we first started, we think we always gotta constantly say something, and sometimes going up there and just taking your time, not saying nothing, shows the audience that you're confident.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
See, yeah, sitting in that silence and just walking up there, not giving a fuck. I've
Yeah.
noticed a lot of headliners do that, but I also say they got 45 fucking minutes. I got 5. I got to start doing it.
Right, you
I
gotta
ain't
get
got
right to
time
it.
for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get right to it.
That's my problem too, because see, so do you write your shit or do you like just go up there and riff?
Both. I do a little bit of my writing process, like it'll come to me, but I still will have to go on stage to try to figure out the kinks and like, okay,
Right.
say this first, say that first, or how to do it. And then it kind of comes from me on stage. And then when I get off, all right, boom, this is how I'm gonna do it. And just kind of like go from there.
Rework it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot like trying to, redo things and things of that nature. I realized I got to start writing it for less than 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because I run into the problem where I always hit my shit, but sometimes I step over laughs, or I just let them go, and then I really run the light. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta start, cutting back. But I'm used to just blah 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 blah. If you haven't noticed, my mouth fucking just don't stop sometimes, and so to not say anything. Well, because you know what, like case in point, Jason Cross was here. Was it last weekend? Yeah, Saturday. So I got to do a guest spot for him. Pete was up there. He let me do a guest spot. And, I got my 5 minute bit and I did my first few minutes and I'm starting to go into my last shit. And, Pete gets nervous. Like, I got the light at 4. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got it. Hold on. Let me get this out of the goddamn screen in this bitch. And so I was like, all right, I got the light from Bob, and I started going into my shit, and Pete's over there like, oh, I'm like, Pete, what the fuck? So I was like, all right, I didn't even end on a good note. I was just like, all right, well, I got the light. So I probably should have did it a little bit better getting off. But I mean, the first few minutes obviously did their thing, but I'm just like, I need to find a way to like let my shit breathe and slow it down and have a good like 4.5 minute, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's a process, you know what I'm saying?
That's that timing. That's that timing.
Yeah.
I never, when I first started, I didn't know what people was talking about. I'm like, timing. They're like, yeah, you got working your timing. Like what? And then watching Chevy, I learned, I said, because Chevy is amazing with timing. He say this, that, then he pause.
Right.
So again, pause. Like, and everything that comes out his mouth is hilarious. So it's,
there's
and
a meaning. Yeah, there's a meaning behind it.
Yeah, because it's a conversation. You having a conversation with the audience, and the conversation is them laughing. So, and it's crazy because once I started, like, because I used to be like you, Justin. I used to just go up there and talk, and then talk, and then I noticed like, oh, I'm not giving the audience time to laugh, to breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
Plowing through your jokes.
Yeah, and what's crazy, sometimes when you stop and you let them laugh, you might get like an extra laugh.
Right? Yeah. I've noticed that. People, when you
applause break lightweight.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a couple of those I've definitely stomped over.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So see, that's still something to learn on. Okay, so as far as I'm not a fan of hosting. Do you enjoy hosting?
I love any position I'm in. I love hosting because it's gonna help you develop new material.
Right.
Especially,
I agree with that because it's less about what you have to say. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you start off with you have a good few minutes you want to work on, but then throughout the night you just throw shit out there.
Yeah.
For the moment.
I say when you hosting, I mean, you can do your material, but I tell people when you hosting, it's about the crowd. That's when you work on your crowd work. Do your crowd work, see what's up with the audience. That's when you build a connection. Because hosting, it's kind of the easiest part because it's not on you to be funny. You don't have to be funny. The pressure really ain't on the host. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So go up there and don't be afraid to try new stuff. Talk to the crowd. Birthdays. See, why is people here? How long y'all been together? Stuff like that. And and you want to bring the crowd. The comedian up to. You don't want to bring him up to like a dead space, but you want to like bring him up, make sure the crowd excited, and go from there. Just keep the host part is just to keep the show flowing.
Right.
Right.
Well, I don't know, but if you notice how I hosted was, I threw a couple. Well, I don't know, you wasn't there in the beginning. Well, I threw a couple of duds out. I throw a couple of duds out in the beginning, and I keep it moving. I modeled myself after Russell Simmons. Thanks for coming out. God bless you. Good night. I keep the show moving like the next comedian, like boom, boom, boom. Because I've been at shows, Marcus. I've been at shows where the host was doing 4-minute sets in between the comedians, and it was like,
yeah.
That was killing the crowd.
Yeah.
Killing the crowd, especially if you think you're way funnier than you are. I'm like, dude, you killing the crowd right now. You making it bad for the next comic coming up.
Yeah, and even you gotta be aware that like comedy is about energy. So you got to be aware if you're bringing energy up or down. And even me, you know what I'm saying? If I feel myself bringing energy down, I'm going to get off stage and bring the next comment. I'm not about to keep going.
Right. See, yeah, that's the thing is the problem is I go up there with a certain thing of what to say. And then that's like, and I'm not talking about hosting. I'm talking about like my material.
Yeah.
I've been able to navigate, you know what I mean? Like, cause we talking about crowd work and I'm like, crowd work, I think happens in the moment. You know what I mean? You got to care and want to talk to these motherfuckers to do crowd work. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go out there and act like you're doing crowd work. You know what I mean? You got to want to, hey, what's your name? And want to really pay attention and know this motherfucker for a minute, at least for the show. You know what I mean? And it's hard. I'm like, oh, I'll just do my shit and keep it moving. Now, if it happens in the moment, I've learned to been able to go back to my material, which is a fucking skill in its fucking self. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, where the fuck was I and shit? I lose myself in conversation all the time.
So Marcus, like, so when you pick your set or what you're gonna do for the night, have you ever this is something I start doing when I go to a show. I'm looking at the demographics of the audience, male, female, white, black, older, younger, and then I'm trying to pick out an appropriate set, or I'll take and grab from my catalog in my head and do that sometimes. How do you normally go? Do you normally have a set that you're gonna do and you said I'm gonna do this set no matter what, this is what I'm doing? Or how does that work for you?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. If I know the place, if I've been there before, I know what type of audience it is. I know what set I'm gonna do, but I didn't wrote sets and get there, and it's a totally different audience, and my set is out the window. Now I got to come up with a whole new set. So I kind of, if I've never been there, I don't know what to expect. I do exactly what you do. You know what I'm saying? If it's white, black, if it's young, old, I just peep. I see what type of people it is. Then also sometimes you might have a set and then a comic could go on stage and get to talk about this and that. And then you like, oh, sex jokes ain't gonna work on this one. Let me take that out. So
right.
Or you'd be like, oh, okay, they is into that. Okay. So now I'm gonna talk about this. So you kind of can develop your set too by watching the other comedians before you.
You got some guys that don't pay attention to nobody.
No, hey, sometimes you gotta try your shit everywhere, correct?
I say know your audience. Don't be afraid to try nothing. Don't be afraid to try anything.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm
aware of your audience. You got to be aware of your audience because that's so important. That's very important.
I mean, I learned it, but I also you got to try your shit.
Yeah,
because my stuff ain't terrible.
I'm not saying
on different subjects.
I'm not saying nothing against try. I'm just saying I was just piggybacking off of you, like saying like, because me personally, I'm watching everybody. I'm a student of the game. I'm watching everybody, but some people just come in or they'll be in the green room the whole time. Oh, it's my time. Okay. You just go up and boom. And you don't even know what happened before you even got up on stage.
Right. No, I like to see what's going on. I like to see what's happening before. I'm not one of the comedians that can sit in the green room or in the back. Like I need to watch the show. I sit in the back of the show if that's cool. I kind of need to watch the show.
That's the way. That's the way I am.
Well, because there's vibes in the room, man. Especially if you're gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? You know, Now, as far as like material though, because if you're trying to work on stuff and you gotta try that out everywhere, you know what I mean. But see, that's that's the difference with me as far as like I got bits. So how much material do you have?
I say it all depends. I could do anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour,
Okay.
but it just depends on like the audience too.
Right.
Like I got different material for different audiences. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
What I would do in front of younger people, I probably wouldn't do in front of an older crowd.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So even a white and black crowd, like if you with a white crowd talking about crack, it's kind of like Sean DePon, but you can talk about meth or you can talk about LSD. But you do that in front of black folks, they're gonna look at you like we don't do LSD. Like so yeah, you gotta be aware. You wouldn't do no joke like that in front of a whole bunch of black people because they're not familiar with it.
See, that's the thing. I'm trying to build. I always tell everybody the goal is an hour. You know what I'm saying? So I always say I'm trying to build my hour in the way I would tell my life. And so I have things I talk about, like, like if they gave out church, mushrooms in church. You know what I'm saying? Black folks don't like you talking, you being high in church. You know what I'm saying? See?
Tell them, look, I be in his ear. I'm like, look, we don't play that, bro. We don't play being high in church.
I was just in Chicago. In Chicago, right? And this girl, she Latino. She was killing it. She was doing good. And she started talking about some church stuff. And if Jesus like did cocaine or something like that, and that's when she lost it. It was a black crowd.
I'm trying to tell you, look.
See, that's good. That's good. I mean, and it's like but I was like, okay, well, see, that was the first time I did that material in front of, in that setting. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I wanted to try it out to see what it was.
I mean, I agree. Like, do it because.
Yeah, but it's not like now I know kind of what to stay away from in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right. But instead of like, because. Black folks in church is crazy. Like, not about my Jesus. Like,
right. That's how they feel. Hey, look, he got me in his ear. Like, yeah, Jay, we don't mess around with
I get it, but it's simple stuff. It's not terrible. I'm not up there cursing.
That's funny though, because me as a comic, I would still be laughing like, yo, that's funny. Mushrooms and church.
Yeah, it's tasteful. I don't get crazy with it. I'd be like, then people really see the Holy Ghost. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
it's not terrible, but like you said, church and mushrooms, boy, it was not. I plowed through it. Don't get it twisted. I had all the confidence in the world when I was delivering it, but they weren't nah.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, you're doing it for like 9-10 years. So where's your podcast? You say you've been learning. Where's the podcast at?
I ain't got the time for no podcast. I just ain't. I'd rather be on the podcast as a ghost than to actually start my own, because I just ain't got the structure and the everyday, the consistency to be doing that. Like, kudos to y'all, like to be consistent and to get the equipment to read this time every day. Like, I couldn't do it.
We only do it once a week, man.
Yeah.
It's only once a week. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been an adventure, man. And it's, to me, we're in the people business.
Right.
So everybody that I come across, I'm looking at them as potential people that's gonna buy tickets to come see me laugh or subscribe to my podcast.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I feel like the podcast is important for me is because I got a nice, we got a nice following here in Cleveland.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But people don't know me in Detroit or Pittsburgh or the next state, so this is a way that they can get familiar with who I am and some of what my humor is about.
Shit, we show up in Helium with the Midnight Paco stuff up in Buffalo.
Yeah, Helium in Buffalo. Yeah, we
shout out to those motherfuckers.
Yeah, shout out to Helium in Buffalo and Milky's.
And Milky's.
Yeah, Milky's. If you've been to Buffalo yet?
No, I've been there once, but I never been. I think we was at like a bar. I don't know. I don't even know the name of it. It's only one time.
Called Milky.
It probably was Milky's is Buffalo's version of LVT.
Okay.
Full show.
Definitely.
Yeah. I gotta get hit. I gotta go.
Yeah. Shit. We signed up online, man. We were like, we gotta go check this shit out. You know what I mean? And I looked at it before we got there, and there was people there that've been doing it 8 years. They're still going there and rocking shit on. You know what I mean? I think it was on a Wednesday.
You know the weird thing about that, Marcus, is we did the helium, which was 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
And we went there and we could pick out like different comics, the alternate universe. Like,
oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Just for an example, for the sake of example, that's Marcus Martin of Buffalo right there. Yeah, like, damn, you know, like
we see people that reckon we were like, yeah, that's that dude we remember from this place. We know that dude. You know what I mean? It's just that type everywhere.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
That's all him. You know, we've been doing it 2 years. The amount of people, the amount of cool people we met while doing it. Case in point, you're one of them. You know what I'm saying? If I had never done this, I probably would have eventually seen you on TV, but I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have known. You know what I'm saying? But I've met so many cool people that are on the rise too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all these lineups you've been putting out, all these cool people in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And the scene is dope. It's just funny when you run into these silly motherfuckers, you know.
Look, when we first started, wasn't nobody really talking to us. It took some headliners from Jersey and New York. We always
shout them out, yeah.
Gary G and Mike. Mike was funny.
Mike Merck, yeah.
Yeah, and they was the only ones that actually like told us like, come on, let's hang out. This is a part of it, you know, networking. This is, you know, boom, 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 and
talk to us.
Actually, talk
to us about this and comedy. He was like, "Hey, that shirt's busy. You probably don't want to wear that on stage because there's a lot of." I had a Joker shirt on with like a lot, you know, thing on it. It was just a lot of colors, and he said it's kind of distracting. You know what I'm saying?
Not to wear shorts.
Yeah, on shorts.
Yeah, it is crazy because just little stuff like that is part of it, and it can mess up your set, which is crazy. But that's just stuff you learn. Like, yeah, like it's weird. I never wear shorts performing. If I got a performance, I never wear shorts.
Right. Yeah, for
sure. I might in the summer, but yeah, I don't like it.
It's an unspoken rule. See, and that's things that, you know, as a comic, I think that instead of being like, look at this guy, look at this asshole in shorts and flip-flops, instead of doing that, why not pulling them aside and say, hey man, you did good. Hold the mic a little closer. Try not to wear shorts. You know, use it as a teaching moment instead of like talking shit.
Right.
But that's the difference. And like so I said, you know, in this journey, we're gonna meet those people, and that's the beautiful thing about it, because that's gonna separate us from those motherfuckers and keep them over there. And we're gonna ride with people that are riding with us, and you know what I'm saying. And that's what it's about. Is because you can't do it alone. You can't do a show by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you do shows, and I get it. You clicks, you do shows with who you like to do shows with, and everything like that. But it's cool to watch people, and like you said, instead of criticizing, helping them out. You know, we try and help out all the new comics we see, and like I said, we're still growing.
We're still growing.
But I know what not to do by running the light all the time. Like you see them new cats out there, and they're like, "What else am I gonna talk about?" They're getting flashed, like,
yeah. Out running the light, you know, and what I try to do is be for the newer comedians what I wish I had. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that you can ask questions to,
right?
You know, which I did. I had people, you know, like I reached out to Marcus. He was cool about it. He didn't be like ignore me or kept me on read mode and shit like other people have. You know? I'm like, shit, you keep me on read like you got some big titties or something. Like you just get a million of these messages and something.
Right, all day.
Yeah. And what the hell? And
go ahead.
I'm just saying, like certain comedians, man. I mean, not all, but some of them did, you know, keep me on read mode for the longest.
Hey, no, sometimes though it do be like that, man. My DM so many people it used to hit me and call me, and it's like, man, don't call me about no show like unless it's for real.
Right.
Like, don't waste my time. A lot of people gonna waste your time. Man, I got this idea. We could do this, do that. Like, hit me when it's for real. Let me know when you get a date or something, because it's gonna be a lot of that. It's gonna be a lot. Hey man, I got this movie idea. I want you to, and nothing ever happens. You know what I mean? I didn't even been in movies, and we started filming, and then they just quit. Like what? Like y'all just wasted my time, man.
Damn.
Wow, that's
hey, at least you in opportunities, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Stardom. It's a start. What was it? Paper Soldiers? Was that Kevin Hart's first one? Paper Soldiers?
That was the first time I seen him.
There it is. So what we got coming up?
I'm actually in Pittsburgh Saturday. I'm headlining out there.
Nice.
It's called the Rock Comedy Show. It be on like YouTube, Tubi, Amazon Prime, and all that.
That's what's up, bro.
This is actually the 4th season, and so I'm excited. The third season I didn't headline, so they giving me an opportunity to headline, which is different. It's forcing me. I got to come up with new material too, so that's like. Oh
really?
I'm excited to like see if I can push myself to that.
It's cool. I'll tell you what, because the first time I ever did it was like a Christmas / comedy show. That was the first one I ever got paid to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I actually wrote a 5-minute bit for like Christmas shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to do 10 minutes. So I did like a 5-minute Christmas bit, and then I added my 5-minute, thing. And then I hurried up and got the fuck off of there because it was a bar show and they weren't. Hey, there was like 5 people paying the fuck attention. But either way, I got paid for $40. Woo woo.
Hey, nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just try to give you a dinner.
right. Well, fuck it. I'll take that shit. Ain't hating. So you got Pittsburgh. Anything else coming up? So how long are you doing there? 45 minutes?
No, I'll just be there one day. We recording it, and then
okay.
I got shows actually coming up in Canton. Is February 18th. We got a Valentine show, and I'm gonna be headlining that. So yeah, just kind of excited, and then more stuff like Vegas and St. Louis in the future.
Okay,
that's
what's up, man. Yeah, please keep us posted. Now, where are people rocking in Canton? The only place I knew of was the Boom Boom Room. Where y'all going now?
The Boom Boom Room is gone. Shout out to Ron, that's my dude. And that's another. Canton is like, especially when I first started, I used to always have to come to Cleveland, man. I always had to drive an hour away just to hit an open mic or some type of mic, unless it was at the Funny Stop. But all my shows, I had to go to Kent, to the Euro Gyro, or this and that. Everything was an hour away from me. Here is nothing consistent as far as like it used to be like we used to have the Buzzman and all that, but it's nothing consistent as far as open mics and shows to do. Like it's hard here for real.
Okay.
Wow,
all right.
man.
Yeah,
Can't somebody would get something popping. Get something. Oh, you ain't got time for that shit, y'all. You out there doing shows and headlines, and I got it.
Yeah.
Damn it. See, there's somebody.
I used to put shows together, man, but my dude that used to promote them for me, he ended up passing away.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's cool. But since then, it's like I didn't realize how much he put into it, because putting a show together is a lot. It's a lot. Like Corey, you be calling comedians, making sure they're gonna come.
Right.
Like it's a lot that goes into it. And
yeah.
Me, I just don't have that in me to do that. And I'm like, dang man, Tim really like RP Tim the damn fool. That's my dude. But he really did a lot as far as because all I did was get the comedians, and after that, he talked to them and all that, because I just wanted to focus on the comedy. Like that's all I do.
That's this guy right here. I tell him all the time. I'm like, kudos, man, because he's always like, yo, Jay, we could do that. I'm like, yeah, but that's a commitment.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's commitment. That's this. That's that. Now, hey, I'll support you. I'll show up, but to have shit going, to talk to people, to get it together, you got to get the comics. Like you say, you got to get all that shit together. I'll help you out and support you any other way, but I kind of just want to focus on the talking shit part.
yeah, for now. But I say if you can, Justin, get into it, because being a promoter, that'll teach you learning the business side of it, because something as simple as a flyer can either make or break your show.
Right.
If the flyer ain't right, people won't come, and it can be the best venue. It could be Chris Tucker on there, but that flyer don't look right.
Right.
Yeah. That's my department. I try and make the flyers.
he do the flyers, the creativity of the merch and all that good stuff. He's a master at that stuff, man. So like,
do all the graphic shit in the background. That's where I'm comfortable at in this piece.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, and that's what I was asking. I'll ask you that. I was hoping that you could come here, but the weather and other things didn't permit you to be here.
Yeah.
So we could actually like exchange merch. I know you got some merch too. How can people get your merch?
Yeah, just hit me up, DM. I ship it out to you. Shows, come to shows. I got wristbands, t-shirts for sale. Yeah. So just get in touch with me and I'll send it right to you. Go to the mailbox.
Oh, see, you do that shit personally. That's what I need to do.
We do too, sort of.
I hand it off. I don't send shit out yet. I ain't got packages.
We got our some merch on Redbubble and Amazon, but
I let them take care of it. They go online and they can order that shit in Amazon and Redbubble.
Y'all got to get me hit, man. I don't know nothing about that.
We'll talk. We can talk.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you know about it, man.
We'll tell it online right now because this is something for everybody. All you gotta do is go to Redbubble and Amazon merch, and you can sign up. You know what I'm saying, to try and get an account. You know what I mean, and then basically, it's all about computer work because it's the images. You got to be able to upload them to any products, and you got to resize them. But all you gotta do is go to Redbubble and merch.com. Like, they got Spotify, all these different types of outlets, but you put them up there, and then obviously people may see them online. You still got to promote it and put the links and shit like that. It's good to have stuff on hand. He's a big promoter of having on hand because if it's in their face, they'll buy it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, most likely. People say all day, "Oh, I need to get one of those."
You got to get you your handy dandy coasters.
Yeah, coasters and shit.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but people are like, "Oh, I'll get it." Like, the link is on every description of every video.
No, and plus, if you had it on hand, like you could sell it. I could have sold a couple of my t-shirts last night, but
yeah.
I ain't have none.
Right. But there's other things. Even last video, he didn't care for it, but I put a description like it's called Ninja Transfers. Although they up their goddamn prices and shit. But if you have once you get your image, you upload it to that. Look, he's upset. He's like, "Why you telling all the shit, dog?" Because people gotta do the work. You gotta do the work, Cordell.
Yeah, they still gotta do the work. They still gotta.
I can tell them everywhere. They still gotta do the work.
They gotta put the work in.
You know what I'm saying? So all you gotta do is upload the image, and they'll send you a thing. But you still gotta have a heat press. You gotta have somebody press it on there. It's just a better way to have it.
My thing is outside of people that we mess with, I don't mind like telling them, but telling the world is like there ain't nobody giving you no game.
No, they ain't. But if they're watching the
what I'm saying,
they're supporting, so they get to hear this privileged information. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Kudos y'all for subscribing and hit notifications.
Bye, humbug.
This episode of the Midnight Paco Podcast brought to you in part by the Acumen Paralegal Services. Help you help yourself the legal way. The services that they offer is they help with documents that need to be typed, guardianships, probate, divorce, wills and trust, complaints, business organization, financial planning, and legal research and writing. Go ahead and give them a call at 216-727-0049 or 216-456-2000. Michelle White will get you right.
That's right. Hey man, Joe Byers would be upset. He's all about giving the sauce.
You know what? Joe Byers is dope.
Have you seen Hot Breath Podcast?
No, I ain't hit. No.
Joe Byers on YouTube. He does the Hot Breath Podcast. He's had Cedric the Entertainer on there. He's interviewed like 400 comedians.
Oh,
He's been doing it for 10 years. He's out of Atlanta. We had him as a guest on the podcast as well. He was super cool, and that was his biggest thing is the secret sauce. can give everybody the juice, but they gotta do the work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they not.
Definitely.
You know,
They
you know what I'm
not.
saying? So
Yeah, so Marcus, I want to thank you, man,
Yeah,
for like
appreciate
you
you,
know
man.
being a cool person and
yeah, for sure. Like I said,
humble and great comedian. I learned from you.
following you on Instagram to meet you in person finally,
Yeah,
and getting you on here for the world. Even though Cleveland's hip, but for the world,
yeah,
this episode's in the ethos.
yeah.
So you out
Right.
there, baby, doing big things and continued success. Hey, good luck this weekend, man, in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, I know that's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope.
Especially in the Burgh. You might as well take a terrible towel and just start waving.
No, not all of that. Don't do that,
They'll
man.
really love
I'm a
you.
Browns fan. I'm a Browns fan.
Thank you.
But-
Go dog. Go Brown.
But no. What's so funny though? Doing shows in Pittsburgh, you can't say that because you gonna lose the crowd.
I already know.
Hear how funny you is.
Just say black and yellow and they'll love
You don't have to. No, you don't have to do that, Marcus. But you know, just don't mention the Brown. Hey Jay, where can they find you at, bro?
Well, first off, where can they find you?
Instagram _ Marcus Martin. Hit the _ Marcus Martin. Facebook Marcus Martin. Pretty much Marcus Martin everything. MarcusMartinComedy.com is my website.
Okay, you got a website?
Yeah,
MarcusMartinComedy.com. Make sure y'all look that up. Check him out.
For sure. I'm gonna put that shit on my favorites.
appreciate it.
There we go. Yes, sir. All right, everybody. You can follow me at Joseph Fuller Comedy on Instagram.
And I am the _great_COREE. That's where you can find me. Or you can find us both at the Midnight Paco Podcast. Hey, you know, I think we had a great episode with Marcus Martin. Please, tune in, follow Marcus Martin, check him out. You will not regret it.
All the description in the in the description, I'll have the link to your Instagram, man. So all they gotta do is click on that and follow.
Yep. And thanks for joining us today, man.
Appreciate it, Mark.
Yeah, y'all have a good night.
baby. Take care, man.
All right, baby.
Peace.
Midnight Paco. Midnight Paco Podcast. 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 Midnight Paco. Midnight Paco. Midnight Paco Podcast. Midnight Paco. Midnight Paco Podcast.